There's low art.
Right.
And then there's Forces of Good and Evil.
Yeah. That is way down there.
You can hear us. There we go. I have to switch over the mics. Now people can hear us. Hey, we're live. How you doing? Rhys is on hiatus, so we're all trying to hold the fort during this time. I guess I'm the temp host as the producer, and actually I'm gonna rearrange this while we're talking. Twitless, you are also the host, so you're gonna be up here next to me.
Woohoo!
Explain to them what we're doing today, and then I'll add Cartoonist's stuff to the
Yeah. So welcome everybody. We're going to do. We're keeping it loose this week. We're going to have, I think, more structured topics next week. We'll figure that out. But we thought it would be fun to actually take our comic book podcast and actually do some comics. So we thought that'd be fun for everybody. So let's see who we got in chat so far. Abigail's here. I see the Metals here. Oh, oops. Tony Sizzle's here. And who's this guy, Matthew D. Rhys? No idea who that person is.
No, he's just a puppet.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's our invisible friend.
Gotcha. All right. So, like I said, grab a pencil and grab pencil and paper, chat. And also, you're going to be helping us as we work through and create comics together. This is going to be a complete disaster, and we'll be making up the rules as we go along. But the first thing we need to do is we need to decide. We need to make a couple of decisions, okay? And we need to help. We need chat's help. We need panel's help to essentially decide what are we going to make a comic about. And I think what we should do is to come up with a couple of topics, and then we'll vote and narrow it down to one. And so right now the floor is open to anything. So first person who speaks up gets first dibs on potentially deciding what we're making comics on today.
Man, why isn't Mrs. H here? She should totally be here tonight.
She totally should be here tonight. She might pop up. I have this. Let me see if I can make my prognostication. I have a theory that if Mrs. H were here, she would suggest we do a comic about pickles. So I might be able to just So but we might be able to work that in later. But
well, I mean, we could have the pickle being chased by Garfield.
So, Metal, can you like maybe post? Can you pin to chat? Just the question: what topics should we make comics on today? Just so that's kind of at the forefront of chat.
Yes,
there.
I can do this as our favorite sock puppet, Matthew D. Rhys.
Okay.
All right, we got our first suggestion: comic about milk.
Comic. Okay, well, we'll put it up there. All right, comic about milk. That's our first suggestion.
Just don't ask for cheese, or we're gonna get sued.
I was just about to say, Milk and Cheese is one of my absolute favorite indie comics of like all time.
But what if instead of it being milk and cheese, what if it's soy milk?
Okay.
No, well, I mean, it could be milk and pickles. That'd be weird. But it could be like soy milk and cheese. That's similar. Seems distinct enough.
So Edming says Pizza Geddon. So right now we have milk and we're getting a lot of food themes. Is this like a Pizza Tower themed stream right now?
I think people are just hungry. You know, dinner time is either coming up or passing for most people, so food is on everyone's mind.
Okay, all right. So right now we've got. So whose screen is up here? Is that Cartoonicus? Is that your screen?
Yes,
that is mine.
Can you just put on our topics on there somewhere? So just
right.
a text box. So current topics are pizza and milk.
Well, no, pizza get. So
Pizza get,
what if?
okay.
So what if this is like a carton of milk in a post-apocalypse with pizza zombies?
That is correct. Cartoonicus, that has to be Pizza Geddon, not just pizza. My mistake.
Okay.
All right. Pizza Geddon and milk.
Is that 2Ds?
Yes, that's 2Ds. Yeah. All right. So we'll wait. We're gonna give chat list like 2 more minutes to come up with potential new topics. While chat's discussing that, let's start to brainstorm a little bit. Try to add the next layer to the Mad Libs. So if milk was a general topic, Larry already started us off here. what would be like how would we narrow that down? So not just milk as
so first of all, we should ask, is this going to be a comedy comic or a drama, action,
or a slice of life?
All right, we'll do
anime.
We will vote on genre next. That is an excellent. It's an excellent question.
A comic about where Matt is right now. The answer may surprise you.
Okay, all right, let's put that up there where Matt is. Okay, so that's 3. That's good. That's good. Okay, alrighty. So now those are our topics. Now let's slap up a genre. So let's brainstorm some genres. So we already had some here. Dramedy is got a vote from Abigail.
Dramedy, okay.
All right, so we got dramedy. We've got obviously just straight comedy. That's 1M, dude. I
messed me up with the 2Ds.
Okay. All right, dramedy.
Satirical religious comic.
Satirical religious comic.
You want me to write all that out?
And noir. You know, I think you could make those 3 things together, and I'm not entirely sure I will come up with a story in 3 to 5 panels, preferably 3 or 4 to go with those. But
all right, yeah, I need. We got to do chill chat. All right, so we are only going to be working with probably like 3 panels or so. 4 at max, but 3 is probably closer to where we should be. So whatever we're doing, we got to be able to communicate it in literally 3 panels.
But that's what the writers are here for.
Yeah.
They're just filling in the blanks.
It's just a classic joke, set up, follow through, punchline. That's
right.
the whole thing.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we got dramedy, comedy, satirical, religious comic. Let's put noir on there. Okay.
Though I think noir could be more of a tone than a sort of a genre.
True.
Let's leave it there for now.
And just for fun, I'm going to throw in
cooking. Oh, by the way, Abigail, I interacted with Carol's cookbook. He came back. I'm not sure which. The author came back on Twitter after being banned, and I showed the clip of us reading Carol's cookbook. The author was very flattered, and actually shared, I think, a couple of the follow-up comics to the one that we read. So one of them is Carol, like, in the hospital, essentially, like, missing limbs and talking about it. So,
did the author agree that it was cringe?
Goodness gracious. Carol's cookbook is amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so we've got some potential topics. We have some potential genres. So I think let's add in one more ingredient before we start making some decisions here. Let's talk about protagonist. Okay, so what kind of protagonist would you want to see in this comic?
First of all, animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Well, like I said, like we're gonna look to chat. You know, you can be as descriptive or as indescript as you want to be. What kind of protagonist should we walk through a genre that we see on screen, and then the topic that we see on screen? A pickle. Okay, so that one was obviously, that's a given. All right, so a pickle.
I'm going to start drawing 3 boxes without a ruler. Because that's how much effort I'm putting into this.
Perfect.
Awesome.
There's one C in pickle, Cartoonicus.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I mean, I think Rhys, as this is his show, should be included on the list of possible protagonists.
All right, a man with Johnny Bravo's personality, so an Elvis-like womanizer.
I mean, he's also kind of like that one character from It's a Mad, Mad World, who always hangs out with his mama.
Joshua Hughes says Garfield. I think you just won Cartoonicus's love for the night.
I'm surprised he didn't just throw out Raven from Teen Titans.
I like Raven.
Edming says Edward II.
Okay. These are,
Whoever that
it's hard to
is.
see because they are.
Well,
pencil.
look.
These are the best 3 boxes you're getting.
That's not bad. Okay. All right, so that's enough. That's enough characters here. Okay, so
All
how
right.
are we going to decide the comic we're going to do? We need to narrow this down. We need one
I
topic.
feel like we should be able to vote on this, right?
Can we do polls? Polls and votes, or should we just
I
roll it?
can do polls. We'd have to do 3 different ones, and also it really wouldn't work. I think for the.
Screw that.
I think the limit is just like 4.
Here's
I
what
think
we're
we
gonna
can
do.
it through the chat.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. Okay, we're going to use the best way of adjudicating things ever devised. We're gonna roll a dice.
Oh yeah, that's good.
All right. So okay, yeah.
All right, what happens if you have a land on a nat 1 or a nat 20?
I got dice somewhere.
If we got Fizz in
I
the chat,
mean-
good to see you.
I mean, you can always use ChatGPT to generate dice rolls.
I mean,
You
can
do
use
that
Google
real
to
well.
generate dice rolls.
No, you use a real dice.
I
That's
have
how
a real
that's
dice.
what we do it. Yeah, exactly. All right, so I'm thinking let's start with the topic first. Okay. Actually, no, screw it. We'll go protagonist first. That's probably more fun. Okay, so protagonist, we need we need a 4. So like maybe a 6-sided die. And
Well, I've got a
then
6-sided. We could just do every 2. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 1 and 2 is pickle. 3 and 2, 3. So hold on. Actually, how would we do that for? Because our we need an 8-sided die. Then do you have an
You get a nat
8-sided?
20,
I
you go.
do have an 8-sided die.
Okay, so 1 and 2 is pickle. 3 and 4 is Johnny Bravo. 5 and 6 is Garfield. 7 and
I
8
also
is
have a 20, which is also divisible, but able to.
all right. 8-sided die divided. Every 2 is essentially those options. Let's see who our protagonist is going to be in our comic. Feel free, by the way, chat, to draw along once we finally decide this
I
insanity.
also have a 4-sided die if you just want to go straight 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, really? Okay, let's do that then. Yeah, 4-sided die. That's easier.
I have the whole standard 7 die set. for D&D.
Actually, no. Roll the 8 because the 8 makes a better roll. I always hate
Yeah.
rolling a 4-sided die because it's rolling a
It's a
triangle.
triangle, yeah. Okay, so I've actually got to bring my webcam down here. Right?
Yeah.
So I'd say
roll it
I'd say
right here on the
D10
keyboard.
then for the theme, and D6 for
4.
All right. 1, 2. Johnny Bravo is our character. Okay.
All right.
nice. Well, a Johnny Bravo like character.
Right, yeah. So it doesn't have to be exactly Johnny Bravo, but he has to have the big hair, he has to have the glasses, and he has to have the womanizing. So we got to have at least those 3 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Big hair,
And
glasses,
I
and
personally like the Johnny Bravo design of his torso being a large triangle.
womanizing. Perfect.
Well, that's a given.
All right, next, let's roll for our genre. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's gonna be rough.
I think the D20 is probably the better because the D10 is such an odd shape. It's not a
Yeah.
full congruent. So
Who made the poll for do you like dice?
the only person who has the option to make polls.
Okay. Yes, the dice are
Okay.
great.
Yeah, so it's going to be 1 through 5, and then so on and so forth in that same way.
Okay, alrighty. So let's roll for genre.
1.
1 is dramedy.
Yeah.
So drama comedy. This is going to be an interesting mix. Okay, and then
We're gonna end up making an Archie comic, aren't we?
I have no idea. So now we have to roll for we do a 6-sided die for topic. Okay, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1.
Re-roll that. That's another 1. We don't. No 2 1s in a row.
4.
Okay, that is milk. Okay.
There you
So
go.
Johnny Bravo in a dramedy about milk. Good Lord.
Well, I mean, so it's the Johnny Bravo character.
Johnny Bravo-esque character in a dramedy about milk. Good
so that
Lord.
means he's getting a milk for a lady. And the lady has a child, so that's why he's going to go get the milk.
All right.
But it turns out the child's actually a midget.
So we're gonna do. Let's actually. Let's do more Mad Libs here. We can narrow
I
this
feel
down.
like we should do this one panel at a time. That
I
way
feel
you
like
can
we
keep
should
that
shame our
fresh.
audience that there's 20% of people that don't like dice.
I want to slap up another box up here. So let's up another box, and I'm going to give a few more categories for us to narrow down. We might vote on this one if we can get a poll, or we might roll for it. But Pertunicus, you put another box up there.
We got it.
Okay, so the boxes here. I'm going to start us off. This is going to help us narrow down what is happening to the topic. Okay, and so I'm going to start off with he is fighting. Okay, so in this case, he would be fighting Milk in a dramedy, and our character would be this Johnny Bravo character. But then we could obviously be doing other options. So fighting is one option. Okay, so chat, can you give us a few more? What are some things that he could be doing with the milk? He could be fighting it. He could be romancing it. It could be he desires it. Give us some, some actions or things we would be doing with the topic.
Miss H says,
Hey,
"Mama
Mrs.
needs
H
milk
has
for
compel.
breakfast."
Okay, he needs it. Okay, so we
Yeah.
have fighting, we have needs.
Needs like a baker or
Well, that we can. Oh gosh, award-winning
And-
spelling here.
And Edming has selling it.
Selling it. Okay, that's good.
okay.
Need doesn't have a K unless you're
Yeah,
making dough.
That's
he
why
is
I was
doing.
asking if it was a baker.
I think he's doing this on purpose.
No, this is
Okay.
specifically asking. Are we saying he needs
Uh,
it? Or he needs
And we got a milk elemental woman, so that's desiring it.
it? I'm gonna assume
'Cause it's-
he's needing-
That's
Oops.
a little weird, but okay. Delivering milk, very classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, a milk elemental woman, that could be fun.
Desire. Yeah. Put desiring on there too.
Well, what if it was a milk woman that he was hitting on?
Exactly. Okay.
Oh, no.
1,
And
2,
it's
3,
not
4,
like
5.
an elemental, just like a woman dressed like a milkman.
All right. Let's get one
Yeah.
more. We got one more, and then we can roll the 6-sided die. All right. We got fighting, needing it, selling it, delivering it, desiring it. Something else out of left field. Give me something. completely
Surviving
off the
it.
wall. Surviving.
Surviving it.
Okay.
He's
there we go.
drowning in milk.
All right, surviving. Alrighty, so I guess we're gonna roll for this one.
Okay. Let me show you. Oh, that didn't even stay on there. 1.
Okay, he is
Fighting milk.
fighting. He is okay. So a drama comedy about a Johnny Bravo-esque character fighting milk. All right.
Now, while we're at it, does this guy necessarily have to be human? Do we want to vote on either more details about him?
No, let's not.
It's
Let's
Johnny
do,
Bravo.
Yeah. Let's not do that. Instead, let's throw up one more box, and we're gonna do setting next. We're gonna set the scene here. Where is this going to happen? Okay, so let's see here. I'll start us off with Mustafar from the Rise of the Sith. Fly Fox Pros in the chat. Hola, good to see you.
Oh, that's
All
a
right,
much better
so
roll on.
so chat, where should this fight happen? We have a Johnny Bravo character is going to, in a drama comedy, fight milk. A garage sale.
That is very fitting for Johnny Bravo. That's on brand for Johnny Bravo as a character.
Okay. Garage sale.
Johnny Bravo could be in literally like
Anywhere.
normal Earth-like setting that's taken to an extreme.
He goes into space too sometimes. They actually do.
Occasionally,
take
yeah.
him- yeah. They take him into some other weird stuff. There's the Star Trek episode they did, which was kind of funny. Okay, garage sale, Mustafar. Let's get a couple more. Where should our Johnny Bravo character
He's also in the
Fight.
Island
At
of Monroe once too.
fight? Fight
A
milk.
Safeway.
A Safeway and a farm. Okay.
How about a ice cream manufacturing plant?
Like, wait, like, at that point, wouldn't we just do a milk factory?
Like a
Okay,
bottle.
No.
Good.
Oh, all right. Larry said ice cream factory, so that's what we're putting on there. All right.
I see a connection there.
1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more location. Fly Fox. Yeah, Johnny Bravo is an Elvis-esque guy with big Elvis hair, sunglasses, and he's a womanizer. That's basically all you need to know.
Yeah.
If you Google a picture, you'll be able to see it, and it doesn't have to be Johnny Bravo. It just has to be a Johnny Bravo-esque character. So it just has to have the big hair, the sunglasses, and the whoa mama kind of attitude towards women.
And dancing pecs.
A
we have
rodeo clown school.
All righty.
Rodeo. Not just why can't it just be a rodeo? What does that have to be a school?
That's what he said.
Look. You need to be professional about your rodeo clown.
Okay.
It's like a technical school compared to clown college.
Did you spell farm as fame?
Maybe.
Okay.
Why no? I didn't.
Okay. Alrighty. Captain Cummings says, I actually watched the premiere of Johnny Bravo. If I'm being honest, it was funny, yet I don't remember much.
I love Johnny Bravo.
I do too.
I do too.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 options. I actually really do like Stalin's tomb as an option, but I think we're full at 6. So unless
I don't
we
have
want
anything that divides by 7 pretty well, so we're gonna skip that.
yeah, we'll stick with 6. Unless we want to replace Mustafar with Stalin's tomb.
I mean, they're pretty close. I mean, Mustafar is where Darth Vader ruled from when he was the Dark Lord of the Sith. It's very similar.
You could argue that it was Anakin's tomb.
I'm going to overrule this right now and say I am not about to try to figure out what it means to draw Stalin's tomb.
Okay. All right.
That is fair.
It was a funny suggestion, though. Okay, let's roll it. Let's see where this fight is going to take place.
I got a slightly better thing to roll on.
Oh, sorry.
But it might be too good. It's foam. 4. That was a nice bounce.
Alrighty, so 1, 2, 3. That's the farm, right? Yeah. Okay,
One of the places that makes the most sense.
Right, yeah. So our Johnny Bravo character is going to
I was
fight
kind of
a cow.
rooting for Mustafar, but
yeah, I was hoping for Mustafar as well, but that's okay. The dice has spoken. Our Johnny Bravo-esque character is going to, in a drama comedy, fight milk at a farm.
with what?
He's Johnny Bravo. He's got a useless black belt that he gets beat up with every single time.
All right, Fly Fox Pro says lame, boring. You know what? Let's re-roll that, and then we can give an option. So we can maybe he starts out at the farm and then goes somewhere else. So because I agree, we want to spice that up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm questioning this entire endeavor now.
Well, hold up. You have the first panel be like he's setting it up at the farm.
Yeah.
He gets the milk. And the milk tries to escape. He has to fight the milk to get it to the pasteurization plant.
Right. It's the magic of comics.
I just figured that he was trying to hit on the milkmaid that was milking the cow, and the cow just ends up kicking him.
No. He has to fight the embodiment of milk. If he's fighting milk, it has to be like milk in I'm thinking an anthropomorphic glass of milk, like Master Shake, essentially, and he's battling it at the farm.
Like the Kool-Aid.
Hold up. What if it's milk that comes out of a cow's udder, like it's a fist, like a Green Lantern ring?
Do you really want this to become a itchy anime?
No, what was it? What was that kung fu movie? That really bad one. That's funny.
Oh, Kung Pao.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Yeah.
And the cow just starts like squirting milk on him in the middle of the fight.
Well, let's re-roll for location, for a secondary location.
Do we remember what the options were?
Vaguely. Vaguely. Oh, you can just control Z. Yeah.
We got a 4.
Are you serious? Okay, re-roll again. It's ridiculous.
What was 4?
It was the farm
That was
again.
the one that we already
Okay.
got.
Okay.
Armageddon.
It rolled off, but it's a 6.
Which
Okay.
would be-
Rodeo
okay.
Clown School.
I would not be surprised if the farm was pretty close to where rodeo clowns are. It's not
So
the craziest thing.
so the rodeo clowns are in desperate need of milk because they need gains from protein, and Johnny Bravo has to get the milk for them, but the milk doesn't want to go to the clowns, so the milk has to fight Johnny Bravo to protect itself.
Oh heavens.
Say what?
Well, you gotta remember, it's not actually Johnny Bravo. It's a Johnny Bravo-like guy. They're just using the name because it's shorthand.
Okay. This is gonna get interesting. Hold on. Let me
I really feel like we should take this one frame at a time.
That's probably fair.
Mhm.
But even so, it's gonna take me a hot minute to let me pull up. Hold on. Where is? Goodness gracious! Come on, just let me.
Also, I should have mentioned, if you'd rather just have the chat, like the full chat, permanently on screen, I can do that. It's up to you.
There we go. I just need to pull up my a Google Doc.
No. What do you say we go about this with the simple, classic old way of storytelling? Someone needs something and is having trouble getting it.
I mean,
Right?
yeah, but let me think how we want to do this.
Because fighting
'Cause
has to be involved.
Yeah, because the whole point is the fighting. So what I'm thinking is that they're in the middle, like the whole 3 panels is that they're fighting, and then the dialogue is where we establish, the dramedy part.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
What
I
if-
found some inspiration for the artists for the hair.
Oh, let's see it.
No, see, I was just going to do a pompadour.
Well, I mean that's a type of pompadour that I just shared there in the private chat.
Let's see. This will show up on screen. That is... No. I don't even know how much of it shows up, but yeah. Oh, yeah, it did end up on screen. Yeah,
Well, you should put,
I don't know.
no, you should put it up on screen for the audience.
No, the audience saw it.
Edming says, "What if the clowns are lactose
Oh, wow.
intolerant and he's defending them?"
That does sound like something Johnny Bravo would do.
Okay, so
Wait, should it be a milk bull?
no, I firmly
He wants the
believe
Kool-Aid Man milk bottle.
it's a milk carton. Someone said milk
Yeah,
carton.
well,
I'm
milk
okay, I
carton
can do
works
that.
too, yeah.
It is an anthropomorphic milk carton. Okay, and I'm imagining that the milk carton's got some personality to it, so he's probably got a big villain mustache, and a monocle, and then probably
Well, hold up. If he has a mustache, it has to be a milk
milk
mustache.
mustache.
He represents big milk.
Exactly. All right. So what should we name our
yes,
our-
that would make perfect sense. They have to be girl rodeo clowns.
right, exactly.
Because it's
Absolutely.
Johnny Bravo. Yeah.
What do we call this what do we call this milk villain?
Maximum milk.
You might want to ask the audience that one.
All right, audience, what do we call this our milk villain? He's a milk carton, he's got a milk mustache, and he is oppressing the rodeo clowns.
Milk Twain.
Milk Twain. Milk Twain, that's good.
And also, what's kind of topical and political you can throw in there is how the milk industry is going against like soy and almond milk.
I don't
using
think
the
we
name
have
milk?
enough-
I don't
There's
think
no
there's
way
the
we.
room for that.
There's no way we have the room for that.
Well, no, like the milk villain could be smashing it up. The Johnny Bravo goes, "Hey, these clowns need that milk because they can't drink you without being gassy." And then they fight.
So the way I'm just gonna script. I think Von Lacto.
I like that one too.
Okay. Here, we put them together. Put them together. Master Milk Von Lacto.
Oh,
Or yeah, there we go. There we go.
that is such a beautiful name.
Okay. Alrighty. So we have our villainous milk character, Master Milk Von Lacto, which is perfect. Which now gives me the idea that we'll give him this sort of German Kaiser hat as opposed to a top hat.
Well, if the German Kaiser hat though is made from the top of a milk bottle, like the milk jug.
No, just slap it on top of a carton. It doesn't matter if it fits.
Well, no, I'm not saying if it fits. I'm saying it should be designed to look like the top of a milk jug.
Okay.
To further go with the milk theme.
I think
Abigail?
since everybody at home should be drawing this too, we should leave that up to artist interpretation.
Okay, we can
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right, so our villain is can we put that up on screen? Our villain is put that under milk or something.
Well, he's fighting milk. We know that.
Well, I know, but
Master Milk Von Lacto.
Yeah, Master Milk Von Lacto.
Okay.
Because that name is so amazing.
Actually, no. Let's we could probably put that now. We could pin it to chat essentially.
Yeah.
That the comic is. We'll just type the whole sentence.
Okay.
Johnny Bravo fighting.
Well, we need a better name for our Johnny Bravo villain character. He deserves a better name at this point because he's fighting such a truly worthy villain.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just Johnny Bravo at this point, but
Yeah. Okay, I've got Johnny Bravo fighting Master Milk Von Lacto.
at the farm rodeo clown school.
Farm slash rodeo school. Okay.
Okay.
Now we're gonna pin it.
There's no way Johnny Bravo is going to pronounce that name. So in order for this name to come across in the first panel, he's going to, like all good villains, he's going to have to say something like, I, Master Milk Von Lacto, have you on the ropes, Johnny, or something like that. So to establish the conflict as they are fighting. So we'll probably have to start off with the villain speaking first.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what we'll start off with that. All right. So I, Master Milk Von Lacto, have you? Oh, let me see here. Actually, let's start off with something like, you have skills, Johnny, but you are no match for Master Milk Von Lacto. I have studied all 87 forms of lactose-based combat.
No. Here's something that you should. Here's a line. You have a very impressive set of skills, Johnny.
Oh gosh! All right, you have a dairy.
That does sound like something Seth MacFarlane would put into a Johnny Bravo episode.
Tell me Seth MacFarlane didn't write that.
He did.
It was
he
him,
did.
and it was what's his name from Fairly Odd Parents. It was the first thing they worked on together.
Oh my gosh.
But that would 100% be the kind of line that they would use.
No,
All right, yeah, that's good. Okay, so you have a
Butch Hartman. That was it. It was him and Butch Hartman. They
Oh.
both made Johnny Bravo.
Gotcha.
All right, so do we want to share
Man, those two working together. Ooh.
Do we want to share my screen because I'm typing script now?
Yeah, I can. I just
All right.
need you to pop it up.
Give me a second. All right. I'm sharing this. Here we go. Alrighty, so we'll do MM for our milk guy.
I mean,
Okay.
that was really such a great villain name we came up with.
Yeah, thank you, chat. You guys are doing great. All right. So, panel 1, it's going to start off with our villain saying, "You have a very impressive set of skills, Johnny, but you are no match for Master Milk von Lacto. I have studied all 87 forms of lactose-based combat." I don't know why he's saying like Arnold, but I guess that fits.
Well, I mean, remember you were talking about him being like in a German pith helmet and
Right.
stuff?
Sounds
That
more
fits.
Austrian.
All right, so then Johnny's going to say something. What would Johnny say in response to that? Because we have to work in the rodeo clowns who work at the farm who are probably
Right.
going to be chicks. So something like, "Good Lord, this is way harder than
No,
That's just a
no.
ridiculous
Hold up,
idea in the
hold
first
up.
place.
Hold up. No one wants gassy rodeo clowns, Milk von Lacto. No.
He's not.
No.
He's not going to use his name. He's going to throw out a quip or an insult. So it's something like
Creamsicle.
let's
Just have him
see
call
here.
him a name.
So something like "Whoa there, cow patty."
Exactly.
"Whoa there, cow patty. I'm protecting these fine rodeo clowns so they can make enough money selling Girl Scout cookies and go to the state fair."
This is already a very wordy panel.
I know. All right, hold on.
Abigail's like, "You sure we want to do gas?"
No, right?
These fine rodeo mamas.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. All right. Okay, so whoa there, cow patty. I'm protecting these fine rodeo mamas. All right, that's a very Johnny-esque line. So that's our first panel, and the two of them are fighting. And what should they be fighting with? Is that something else we should put to the panel?
Ooh,
I kind of think we should. I think we should roll on it. Okay, chat.
Yeah.
It's time for you to help us out again. I'll just put this on screen. Okay, so what are they fighting with? And then I'll just list it. What are they fighting with? All right, so I'm going to put because Mustafar didn't make it, I'm going to put as our first option lightsabers.
Oh my god! I was before you even said that. I was like, if anybody puts lightsabers, I'm disowning them.
Well, I mean, it's a Johnny Bravo character. Why not a hairdryer?
Okay.
A lightsaber hairdryer.
Let me make all this larger text so it can
Johnny has
seem
a
better.
whip. I like that. That fits the theme.
Alrighty.
I feel like Johnny would just hurt himself with a whip, which would make it funnier.
All right, so what are they fighting with? We got lightsabers, hair dryers, whips.
Wouldn't Johnny fight with his comb?
Technically, Johnny's hair itself is a weapon.
Yeah.
It is broken diamond glass, diamond cased glass, essentially.
It's all the
Fizz-
jelly he puts in there.
Fizz says, Fizz says guitars. That's actually pretty legit. 2, 3, 4. You need 2 more options to roll the.
Guts sword.
So Final Fantasy swords.
That makes sense.
Oh no, that'll take up the entire panel.
Well, that gives you so much less to draw.
Also, that's what makes it funny.
Or Johnny Bravo's hair is basically looks like a Final Fantasy sword, and he's using it
How
as
about
a Final Fantasy sword.
How about his hair is just holding a sword?
We'll leave that up to artist interpretation. One more weapon choice. What would be ironic for this fight? Let's see here.
A cookie. It's milk and cookies.
I was thinking. Let's see here. Milkshakes. It'd be kind of hard to fight with cookies.
Johnny's got a
I
straw.
mean, what if
He will drink the entire carton if he has to.
Let's see here. Let's put, I don't know, rubber chicken. All right, that gives us 1, 2,
Rubber
3, 4. Okay. Alrighty, so let's roll it. Lightsabers, hair dryers, whips, guitars, Final Fantasy swords, and rubber chickens.
Okay. Let's get it. 2.
They're fighting with hair dryers. No, roll
So-
again. Roll again. One of them will have one weapon. The other one will have the other.
Okay.
That'll make it interesting. Yeah. Let's do that.
But like the idea with hair dryers, it could be like an Old West gunfight kind of scenario,
Oh, he fell off. Let's see what it did.
which further goes in with the rodeo clowns.
Where it went. But nowhere. Hold on. Technical difficulties.
Alrighty. Let me see if I can make this any bigger. How do I make the screen? How do I make the page? Oh, page here. I know how to do it in Microsoft Word. How do you make the page full page here? Does anyone remember how to do that in Google Docs?
Why not just scroll in?
I mean, I guess.
Zoom.
Okay, so my 6-sided dice just disappeared into the ether. But luckily, I have a 12-sided dice, which can be divided the same way.
Okay.
That's the power of math.
And 3 out of 12.
So that's reroll because that's hair dryers again.
Oh, they can't both be hair dryers. I see how it is. 7.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So one of them has a guitar. One of them has a hair dryer. We'll let the artist choose which one gets which. So Edming is back. So we've decided that we have the first panel's lines and we know what they're fighting with. They are currently
I found my
fighting.
6-sided die.
Oh, there we go. The fight is going to be one character will be fighting with a guitar, and the other character will be fighting with a hairdryer. So,
I kind of feel like now it'd be funnier if the milk carton was fighting Johnny with the hair dryer. Like going with the whole Samson angle.
I don't know. I mean, it would. Again, we should leave it up to the artist, but I feel like it'd be more logical.
No,
because
because it might very well. I don't think we should, because it might very well come into play in the plot later.
well, Johnny having the hairdryer would also be trying to dehydrate the milk, which actually
Yeah.
makes a little bit of sense. What doesn't make sense is why Master Milk Von Lacto would be wielding a guitar. So, but it's funny as heck.
I don't think
so-
it makes sense for him to be wielding either of them. So.
Okay. So, anyway. Alrighty, so we're on to panel 2. We're already making progress. We're cooking with gas. Alrighty, so again, panel 1 is you have a very impressive set of skills, Johnny, but you are no match for Master Milk Von Lacto. I have studied all 87 forms of lactose-based combat. And Johnny says, whoa there, cow patty. I'm protecting this fine rodeo mamas. And they are fighting with the chosen weapons. This is what happens when you let die rolls determine what art creates. This is essentially what we are doing right now, by the way. This is essentially a low-tech version of AI generated art. So we're using dice to simulate artificial intelligence, which is not intelligence. So
I thought you were gonna say this is D&D.
I wish.
Also, kind of, sort of.
All right, so panel 2. This is where I think the the drama needs to hit. All right, because this is a dramedy. Okay, so we have to have a panel that establishes the drama. So I think the line that was too long. So maybe maybe no, let's just keep it focused on Johnny. We can put the rodeo clown mamas in the background, so we don't have to give them lines.
But what if they're dangling above a giant vat of milk?
Well, see, we got to do the comedy. The dramedy part here is that the rodeo clowns have to be like doing something serious, and Johnny is seriously trying to help them, and then we can pull the comedy back in panel 3.
Well, no. But I'm saying, like, if they're going to be drowned in a giant thing of milk, isn't that dramatic?
But it's not like for dramedy, you're usually trying to hit this, like, it's kind of like more slice of life usually, where it's like, oh, I don't have enough money we're going to have to sell the farm and I'm sad and depressed. Like, you really got to milk that, milk that side of it. So something like, this panel needs to be super serial. Like the most serious. In fact, I'm even thinking the art style should be like, heavily shaded and like, that sort of like, Johnny Bravo, like looking like he's like super serious, like he's on a mission, maybe even just focus on the faces of the characters here, dial back on the insanity of that first panel to really just make it like, bring it home that something real serious is happening. Cause that's gotta do that. Sure.
Now you tell me.
Gotta have that dramatic turn. So let's see here. Let's see here. Ladies. Will have to sell their, let's see.
Rodeo Clown School.
Let me think.
Abigail says, since Von Locto stole our cows, we've got to sell our farm.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Since you stole their cows.
And I feel like then that means that the cow that comes back has to be the punchline.
We're gonna have to sell the family rodeo clown school farm. Because we gotta give justice to that double setting. Since you stole their cows, these girls are gonna have to sell the family rodeo clown school farm. But we gotta sell it. We gotta sell it. It's gotta be the most dramatic shot ever, and he has to look super serious. And maybe we show the girls crying.
I mean, would the rodeo clown school farm being an orphanage also be too much?
No, because that wasn't the setting. The setting is our rodeo clown school farm. Since you stole their cows, these girls are gonna have to sell the family rodeo clown school farm. So how else can we sell that as serious? Let me see here. Give him another word balloon to say something like.
Oh, Abigail has something. Von Lecter stole all our cows. We've got to. Yeah, no, sure.
Yeah. That's what I adapted that wonderful suggestion. There will be no way for them to bring home the cheddar.
That is a very sharp cutting line there.
Thank you. All right, so that's our dramatic panel. Okay, so panel 3, we got to somehow end this. Alrighty, so how the hell are we gonna?
I need a fourth.
Now, I feel like we can do it in the third. We just got to be really clever about it. So, like, if he uses the hairdryer and he dries out the milk, we can show the villain defeated. We can show the girls triumphant, and we can still tie it home with some sort of joke. I think this is very doable, but we're gonna have to dig deep into our collective writing ability.
So Johnny turns Von Lacto into powdered Von Lacto.
Dehydrated milk on lacto. So Fly Fox says, I heard this is the same method that Winsor McKay used to write Little Nemo. It may not have either that or it was a dream of the Rarebit Fiend. But okay, let's see here. All right. Thanks to my hair dryer. Your dehydrated milk now. Let's see here. And then the girls can say something like, I feel like the joke here that I think would be really funny is I don't know how to phrase it, but the joke being that like because the cow is gone, the girls are just going to sell the dehydrated milk instead.
I mean, that feels like that would be a fourth panel punchline.
We can still do it in the third. It works. You show him dehydrated. There's Johnny. There's the dehydrated milk, and then the girls say something. And then
Wait. We say, hey, we could use that dehydrated milk to make hot cocoa.
Let me think. A really good way to end this and actually end on the comedic punch is that Johnny says this or says something. The girls kind of like wrap up the plot essentially, and then our Master Milk Von Lacto makes like a pun.
Aren't we supposed to have 2 locations?
We did. We essentially worked this into the dialogue. The Rodeo Clown School farm.
I mean, since we're doing a Johnny Bravo type character, the punchline needs to, I think, include the fact that the girls are absolutely not interested in him. Because I mean that again feels like it's on brand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They fall in love with the milk instead.
That would be really weird.
Thanks to my hair dryer. You're hydrated milk now. All right. Let me see here. Thanks to my hydrator, you can sell Von Lacto as dehydrated milk. All right, so that's essentially wrapping up the plot there. And here we go. Then he says we give him one extra panel where he basically hits on them and says something like, "Now, how about some
how about you do how about a kiss in the third panel with the fourth panel being the girl socking it to him."
No, I got it right here. All right. Okay. So Johnny says, "Thanks to my hair dryer, you can sell Von Lacto as dehydrated milk. Now, how about some 2% for old Johnny?"
We should change his name though, and let the audience decide.
See,
that hurts. How about some 2% for old Johnny? That hurts.
So you can. That's our double entendre for the evening. And let's see here. The girls. Let's see here. What's chat saying here? Chill. There's a milk stand at the beginning, and third panel they just write powdered next to milk on the sign. Yeah, that's great. Johnny's also trying to hug one of the girls while she tries to escape. Again, these are all perfect details. All right, so the girls' response to this would be, let's see here, because like if we're doing only 3 panels, I think they have the chance to say something, but not necessarily slap him. So, what would be a good retort?
No, it's rough for them to say anything when you're already giving 2 different lines to Johnny in the panel.
It's not too because I've kept his lines pretty short. I think we were okay there, but we need to keep them
I mean, then you go with the punchline and say, sorry, we're lactose intolerant.
Actually, that's actually pretty good.
That is.
That's actually a pretty good ending. All right.
Lactose intolerant clowns selling powdered milk.
Okay. Alrighty. Edming says, "Do you know how we could make 3 panels into a disaster? Hire Zeb Wells and his comb over."
I don't know what that means.
He's the robot chicken guy. All right. So yeah, robot chicken is legit.
I like Robot Chicken. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I think we got a strip. I think
we got a 3-panel strip.
I think we got a script. So all we need to do now is let's copy and paste this. Let me see how should I do this? Maybe I can paste it into private chat because what I'd like to do is we can start sharing screen with the artists who are working, and then maybe just have the script next to somewhere on the screen so that people can refer to it as we go.
You know,
Okay.
I'm looking forward to hearing what Rhys thinks of this episode when he gets back.
Oh man.
I'll be honest though, I don't think I'm gonna be able to include any of the words. Not to just do art.
Well, that's
What I
okay.
can do, what I can do is I can screenshot and add it in later.
Yeah. There you go. That's perfect. Do it in Microsoft Paint. No one cares.
Yeah. Well, because like I figured I was mostly just doing thumbnails, so my boxes are like 2 inches.
Oh
by 2
yeah.
inches.
Oh gosh. No. Yeah.
Yeah, but,
No.
I've got some thumbnails already for the first 2.
No, you're good. Just no, you can totally do this. Just draw lines and then put the text underneath the balloons. I'm sorry, put the dialogue underneath the boxes. So like you won't actually have word balloons, but you could still have the dialogue, and then just have like just do it Prince Valiant style essentially. So Cartoonicus is currently on screen drawing. Metal is also drawing, and we invite chat. Well, I want to see. We have plenty of artists in chat. We want to see you guys and your interpretations of this insane comic strip that we've just generated. But Cartoonicus, is there any way that you could put a second window on your screen share, or put somehow get the script on there so that chat can reference it?
I don't think you can do double windows.
No, you're right about that.
I don't think so.
Can you slap this into a text box somewhere and just have it for reference?
Maybe. Let me see about this. I'll probably have to put them in multiple text boxes. That's
Can StreamYard put multiple windows up?
no,
don't
but
think
I'm
so.
doing this in OBS. I can do things on the back end.
Oh,
Okay, right.
Let's see. Here we go. Text.
Edming says, "I'm not an artist, but I have a napkin and a pen." Yes, Metal is using a pen and paper, and you can just like add us on Twitter, and we'll definitely retweet anything that comes out of tonight. We will tweet out.
I can copy it. There we go. Ooh, it is super huge.
I do have to say, Cartoonicus, I really like your milk carton Von Lacto.
Cartoonicus is one of the most gifted character design artists I know, and so you give him a concept, and within about 2 minutes, he pretty much has the mental picture of how to make that character work.
It's supposed to be font. There we go. Need to change the font size because it is huge.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes, it is. And I also have to say
That's too small.
that this was challenging putting together the Mad Libs into a story. This was certainly
the
challenging.
idea. And we're
Yeah,
either
it's going
going
to
to
disappear while
create.
I'm doing the tech stuff because it won't show the StreamYard fully while I'm doing this.
I guess we could just like just go back and forth sharing the screens.
Oh
That
no,
kinda-
it's fine. It just won't pick it up. Like my computer won't pick up all of the imagery on StreamYard until I'm done putting the text up here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And we could probably have this put on Forces of Good and Evil when Rhys gets back as like a little bonus comic.
Oh Lord.
Put it,
Fly Fox says the carton design is awesome, so we definitely have some some support for people saying.
I mean, we all loved Milk and Cheese. That was such a fun cartoon.
I do love Milk and Cheese. It's one of the I have the omnibus of it, and it's really awesome.
Oh, that's because the outline's not black. Here we go. Trying to make it to where people can actually read it. There we go. There's one. Add another text. I have to do one for like
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
each part. Yeah.
All right. So for everyone in chat, you can follow along. We are putting the script on screen, line by line. It looks like,
Yeah.
which is perfect. Oh yeah. That's much easier to read. This is wild. Whose idea was this? Whose crazy, insane idea was this?
Technically, CEO's mine.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Technically.
alrighty.
I believe I said this was a good idea. It would be fun.
So it's okay. So it's partial. It's both your faults.
I mean, we're all being entertaining.
Actually, panel 3 got cut off because of the limit. You'll have to like recopy and put that in another message.
All right, hold on. I'll do that. There's private chat. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna milk this one for all it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be so many milk jokes done by the end of the night.
Only 1% of my milk jokes will land. So I'll have to skim them for the best cream that rises to the top.
Oh, this is gonna be so cheesy.
We could always go raw.
All right, so this is a farm rodeo factory.
No, it's just the clown school rodeo farm.
School rodeo farm. Okay.
And you could do the whole thing with the little milk sales booth, which then gets changed to powdered milk for the ending punchline. And thinking about this now, that little like mid-panel switch to seriousness, that is very on brand for Johnny Bravo.
Is it?
Yeah, he would be kind of goofy, then serious, then goofy.
I mean, like his version of serious.
Right?
It's always pretty.
I'm trying to picture that.
It's pretty goofy.
Well, I mean, dramedy is kind of a little goofy in and of itself.
I kind of the dramedy I'm thinking of is where it's like you're dealing with a very serious subject, but you have a kind of sarcastic quip to make a punchline at the end, but it's still understood that you're usually dealing with something very serious that is kind of meant to be treated seriously.
So Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, essentially. That's
And hey,
definitely applicable.
we did a comic with a Gilmore Girls reference, and nobody's sitting around eating.
Nope, we just got pure octane action with Von Lacto, which is still an amazing name.
I mean, you could make that into like an Austin Powers villain.
A Powers villain?
No,
Austin
an
Powers.
Austin Powers villain.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like a Power Puff Girls villain, and I was like that's perfectly on brand.
I mean, that could also work too.
Definitely. I would definitely say to our artists, in the interest of time, I mean, rough sketches.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to put like any effort.
I'm literally just thumbnailing.
Perfect.
I might finish this off some other time and actually put it up, but for now it's just thumbnails.
That's
Also
essentially
trying to
what
remember that Johnny Bravo is like 2/3 torso.
He is. He's a big torso, kind of big arms, little bitty legs.
So again, the good news is that the second panel, the way I'm thinking of it, is all you really need to do is just have like pretty much a close up of Johnny's face and like rough, like hatched almost, you know, where it's just like that, you know, taking it super seriously. Because it's only him speaking. And you can just have him just looking just super like dramatic and serious. So panel 2 is I think really easy.
Yeah.
Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Gotta give the clowns those Hartman hips.
Alrighty. So, what is everyone's favorite brand of milk? Since milk seems to be on everybody's mind. Dairy is just, you know, the theme for tonight.
I mean, when I was drinking milk, I got my milk from the Great Green Pea, aka Publix.
Of course. Is there a particular vintage that you prefer?
I prefer skim, but I live in a house with multiple people, so 2% is the compromise octane of milk.
Gotcha.
As Joey Triviavi once said, who says wine has to cost more than milk?
I mean, I like skim, but I basically alternate between skim and raw. So essentially straight from the cow's teat.
Yeah, you're weird like that.
I drink whole milk. I do like raw milk too.
Oh,
I don't know a good place where I'm at to get a hold of some raw milk.
yeah, you got to go to like a local, either a co-op or like a organic food store. Sometimes they do sell it
in a cow town in Texas.
Yeah, there you go.
where I'm at in Sarasota, the organic places are all like, you know, chain organic places.
I personally know people who have cows.
There you go. That's how you do it.
I also personally know people who have goats too. Goat milk's not that bad.
Oh, I can't do goat.
I'm okay with goat cheese.
I was having some goat cheese as part of my dinner tonight.
Edming says whole milk, but that is for cooking. Can't really drink the stuff anymore. Oh, that's a shame. I drink like a gallon and a half a week, at least.
And not one person here has talked about chocolate milk.
I mean, I can take any of the other vintages of milk and just put chocolate in it.
Yeah. It's just an additive.
Raw milk, by the way, raw milk, chocolate milk is essentially a free milkshake, by the way, because it's so thick when you shake it up, you essentially just make milkshakes out of it without having to, you know, do the rest of the milkshake. Yeah.
Well, that's neat.
So you literally have a milkshake.
I'm serious. Yeah. And you can actually get them depending on how vigorous you shake it. You can actually get it to almost the consistency of a milkshake.
If you shake it enough after that, can you have cheese?
Haven't tried it.
So, how well do you remember Johnny Bravo?
Very, but I've also seen it recently.
Yeah,
Go
but I
back
mean,
and rewatch it
Twitless.
periodically.
I mean, it's been a while. I remember rewatching some episodes.
I just remember
So-
that every one of those cartoons was basically an excuse to see what they could get over your head while your parents weren't looking.
hmm
I don't think Johnny Bravo was ever that bad though.
It was
Like, there are
probably the
shows.
lightest.
I was gonna say there are shows that are way.
But I mean,
more...
they had their moments. You can look on YouTube to find them.
Yeah.
I do know there was a joke. I ripped.
Powerpuff
straight-
Squirrels was awful. And
There's a
that's-
joke. Speaking of Johnny Bravo though, cartoon, because you'll remember this. There is a joke that I ripped straight from Johnny Bravo for
yeah, what was it?
Super Schooled, which was I can't hear you. I have dollar signs in
That's
my
what it
eyes.
was. Okay.
There's a wonderful part, and it's the King
So-
Kong. It's the King Kong episode, and what's the greedy store owner guy's name?
Pops.
Pops, yeah. Pops says they're warning Pops that this having a giant gorilla is going to be really dangerous, and I think it's Carl who says that, and
Yeah.
because he's usually the straight guy who's who's like warning people about stuff,
It
and
just
then
looks like Carl gets tossed around all the time.
yeah. And then Pops literally has dollar signs in his eyes, like that typical cartoon, thing. But then what was funny is he actually drew attention to it, and he says, "I can't see you, Carl. I have dollar signs in my eyes." And it was as a kid, I thought it was so funny, and I just had to put it into Super Schooled
But
somewhere.
you didn't.
I did something similar. I think it might have been hearts in eyes or something, but
And
No, I remember at a point Captain Stupendous actually has dollar signs in his eyes.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did do that. Yeah, it's like
But
I think it's pretty early on in the
We
strip.
never made a joke out of that.
I think more or less. I'm pretty sure I referenced it somehow.
One of the things I like about the show is most of the time they don't get credit with writing because they were the showrunners, but you can basically tell if you've watched their later shows which one ran which bits, and it's kind of like a game to guess, like, was this a Seth or was this a Butch bit?
Oh, I
And
see.
usually the way it's like Butch prefers like
Was it dirty? It was
long
set.
form the jokes, like where the whole episode or like sequence is just one long joke,
Right.
like the one where Susie's doing like a Dr. Seuss style Girl Scout cookies, green eggs and ham type thing, while Seth prefers a theme with a bunch of smaller jokes in that theme, like when Johnny dates the antelope Karen, and everything's just like, oh, look at this funny thing because it's different because it's an antelope instead of a person.
Interesting. I do remember some episodes standing out in my mind as a kid.
If I know my Family Guy, Seth prefers it when you take one joke and just harp on it over and over and over and over and over again.
Oh, he'd never do that.
For 2
Abigail
minutes.
has a great reference from Johnny Bravo. Mama told me about women like you. I was hoping she was right.
You know,
Yeah. remember
Fly
that.
Fox ships Johnny and Velma from that one episode where the Scooby-Doo gang crossed
Yeah.
over with them.
Yeah.
I can't be seen without my glasses.
So it's strip 17 of Super Schooled, and it's not in the actual strip, but it's in the hover over. We actually have a direct reference to, I'm sorry, Carl, I can't see you. I have huge dollar signs in my
Gotcha.
eyes. So we did technically put it in the strip. And it is probably one of my favorite lines from the show. In fact, I think I Googled once, like that exact line. And if you Google that exact line, like our comic actually comes up in the search results.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
At least the last time I checked.
If you actually need a reference, which I'm probably going to go look up later when I finish this, you actually see how they draw a girl clown in Johnny Bravo, because the episode when he's on a plane and they're making fun of Gremlins,
yeah.
in case of clown pull, and it's actually like a girl clown that comes up to distract.
Oh
the clown.
yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that.
It's actually one of the first episodes in the show.
Interesting.
And, you know, with a little tweak, you give Johnny Bravo the Rhys beard.
It's one of those few cartoons that I can go back and I can rewatch it with my dad because he liked watching it growing up. It's really hard to find shows that your parents will watch with you. He really liked Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Well, one problem is that anytime you're trying to show anyone something new that you appreciate, whatever you turn to, it'll be the one episode that is so weird or dirty or whatever it is to completely give them the wrong idea.
I mean, that's just how it goes.
No, what you have to do is you have to really test them. You have to show them the weirdest episode to see if they'll even watch the normal one. So, like, listen, if you like this, you'll like the whole show. I'm not going to waste your time with anything else.
But the problem is that one weird episode has like so many in-jokes and things you have to know about the rest of the show that are completely out of context if they haven't watched the rest of the show.
It depends on the show. I usually like, and this one, I want to say this one was a Seth one, just because it is a longer gag, but it's a bunch of smaller bits that make it up. Is the Schoolhouse Rock episode, where the guy who actually did like the major voice for Schoolhouse Rock played himself in the episode, and he was trying to help Johnny actually become appealing to women, and it just kept going into a bunch of Schoolhouse Rock style songs.
That's cool.
Or I'll show them the Donny Osmond episode. That's a really good one too. And if they like that, they'll probably like the rest of the show.
Right now, to ruin my Google algorithm, I'm looking up female rodeo clowns.
I think that's probably already in my Google algorithm.
I want to know that story.
God.
I also found, I think it's a Japanese female rodeo clown. and I'm gonna share that in the private chat.
I'm not bringing that on stream.
No, that's fine. It's not that kind of a female rodeo clown image. It's pretty wholesome as rodeo clown images go.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a connoisseur of rodeo clown couture.
Well, being right in the area of Fort Worth, Texas, I've seen many a rodeo clown in person.
I would imagine. Abigail
not
says,
a lot of women. It's almost all men. It just
jeez. Ed Bing says Google algorithm destroyed. Now he's going to have Spirit Halloween costume ads forever. That's funny. That's legit.
Because thumbnailing is the most that I'm going to do. I'm going to make my camera big and show people my thumbnails. Here we go.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Oh wow, I like that suit.
Okay, so here's thumbnail number 1. Where I've got them talking and clearly see the guitar in his hand. It's the back of
it's all blurry.
It's really blurry.
Yeah, it's really blurry.
Right. And then actually you can probably see all three of them in the same one. They got Johnny there with the hair dryer, yelling, heavy point, panel break.
Right.
Yeah.
2 crying rodeo clowns in the background, and then in the last one, you can see the defeated milk carton is there in the background. The hat's even kind of visible, but it doesn't matter how blurry it is. The sketches are also really rough, so you're not going to get much detail. I decided one of the rodeo clowns is going to have like typical afro hair. The other one's going to have like Pippi Longstocking pigtails, and it's hard to tell, but she has her hand in his face as he's trying to like run up and grab her.
Oh, okay.
There's my thumbnails.
Yeah, I like.
I mean, the one with the hand in his face should definitely be the one that says we're lactose intolerant.
Oh yeah, I've got the thing pointing to her, the tail for the balloon.
Yeah.
No, I'm liking that. I was gonna say, do you have time to like go over that in pen at all?
No.
Okay.
I will finish it later though, and
Okay.
I will post it to Twitter and stuff like that.
Alrighty, that's legit. And I love the interesting thing here is our totally not a Nazi milk carton is wielding a guitar like a Spaniard, which I think is just makes him a very interesting blend of European influences.
You know what? You know what? Looking at his suit makes me think of Timothy Dalton in The Rocketeer.
Wait, that was him?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the smug actor who was the secret Nazi agent.
Yeah, he was the
Oh,
bad
I thought you were saying he was the Rocketeer himself.
No.
Mm.
He played the bad guy.
Yeah.
Dalton plays a pretty good bad guy. It's actually, I think, his good guys that, at least when he's playing James Bond, where I was like, man, this is a very villainous kind of James Bond.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, he played him
He was playing-
extremely angered James Bond.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he was
supposedly
playing
that's
him
actually
very like the book.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's
Sure, it was just
he's the most accurate Bond.
but he was like out
Yeah.
for blood
Yeah.
the whole film.
I mean, James is a paid assassin for the British government.
Yeah, that's true. I'm still see that's a conversation starter.
Yeah, because it's technically more like him in the kind of like the pulp writing of Bond, but I kind of like more of the suave appearance. I don't know. I think Sean Connery has kind of ruined me for looking at anybody else's Bond.
Yeah. Actually, I'll say that when you watch Roger Moore in The Saint, right?
Yeah, I do like.
Oh gosh.
No, you could tell that's why he got the role of Bond, because when you're watching Roger Moore in The Saint, it's like, this is just James Bond. What's actually kind of sad is that by the time Roger Moore actually got to play Bond, he was already like not a fresh daisy, as it were.
Right.
I think he was older than Sean Connery at the time.
He does a good job for his age, but there's a little something missing. Like I said, it is kind of sad because when you see The Saint, you're like, wow, this is perfect. If he had done Bond at that time, I think he'd be even more beloved than he is, because people do put him as top tier James Bond. I just think he's a bit on the old side.
I heard that he realized it was time to retire when he realized that he was older, not just than the Bond girls he was playing against, but their mothers.
Yeah, that's it.
I
mean, go ahead.
My personal favorite Bond, though, has to be Pierce Brosnan, because I think he did a good job of sort of channeling in the ethos of Dalton, Connery, and Moore into a single performance.
There's an argument to be made there. I don't know if I personally agree.
I mean, it's basically like Spider-Man. Every Bond is going to have people picking out their good qualities and bad qualities.
Yeah. And besides, I don't know, I like Bronson more when he's not Bond. Because he's a good like anti-hero type actor, but
and he did a very good aging hero in Black Adam. If only Black Adam wasn't such an awful movie.
He was in Black Adam?
Yeah.
He played Dr.
He
Fate.
was.
They did Dr. Fate dirty, but he did great for what was given.
Even though they set up everything for Carter to become the new Dr. Fate, but guess that wasn't in the cards either.
Yeah, the Bond novels are my only experience with Bond, says Edming. Well, you know what? You can keep it that way. I mean, there's good adaptations of it, but if you keep it that way, you'll never get disappointed.
Okay, if we're going to be bringing up Bond media, though, we have to talk about GoldenEye, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to?
It's a very influential video game.
I mean, it's I mean, I will say that watching GoldenEye, it's very clear, like the shift in direction they were taking the franchise.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, like it's a pretty legit direction. So I don't know if it's not just Brosnan, right? It's everything. It's it's the choice of the Bond. It's the choice of the plot. It's how because the previous films had gotten into a bit of a pattern, I guess, and the setups for the villains were typically very flat.
Right.
GoldenEye is one of the first movies where it's like, oh, the villain is bad, but his grievance is legitimate. And so you feel a little when 007 is facing off with Janice, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there's like a real like conflict here, and the conflict isn't just me good, you bad, me good, you Nazi. Essentially, it was like you've been wronged by the government I serve, and so your disloyalty is prompted by a disloyalty shown to you, and that kind of complicated things. And it was like, oh, there's a level of depth here that the franchise had not really, I think, done much with up to that point in the films, and so
And that-
I appreciated that.
And that concept would haunt Judi Dench's portrayal for the rest of her career in those movies.
I really like Tomorrow Never Dies because I felt that was the most realistic of the evil billionaire Bond villains.
Mm-hmm. Because they
My
just
favorite
ripped off.
Bond game was Nightfire.
But Bond's interesting, and it's there's what's interesting about it is that there's like a good argument no matter where you fall on it. I feel like there's almost no bad Bond argument. It's like you say, this is my favorite Bond, and this Bond movie's good, and this one's trash, and it's like every
I
argument.
could tell you the bad argument is anyone who agrees with the direction they're taking Bond now.
Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, they don't know. We don't know what direction they're
is.
taking it yet.
We mostly do.
Do we? Because I think we thought we did, and then they kind of spun it on us.
Well, that's a shame.
But,
But up until this point, as a franchise, it's interesting because I could see the legitimacy in most arguments you can make.
I mean, there is one Bond movie that we kind of all want to forget existed. The one where Sean Connery was surgically altered to be a Japanese man by giving him buck teeth and glasses. I
don't think people do want to forget that. That's like one of the most popular Bond movies ever.
Yes, but that whole sequence kind of is a sour note on that whole performance.
Even so, I mean, that was Blofeld's, reveal and everything. That is, sheer Bond
Don't
iconography at that point.
I will watch anything with Sean Connery in it. I don't
Fizz-
really anything.
Fizz in chat asks, "Did Black Adam suck?" And then says Moonraker. Although I don't know what the context is. Are we saying Moonraker?
Moonraker's a ridiculous Roger Moore movie, but it's ridiculous in a fun way.
The funny thing about Moonraker is that we all look at it and it's ridiculous, but the fact is they were trying as hard as they could to be scientifically accurate in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens that's what we got.
And the problem with Black Adam was, like all Warner Brothers productions, it was a mess of studio interference, but The Rock also had a strong production clause in his contract, so the studio couldn't interfere in certain areas where The Rock had absolute authority. Plus, they were trying to make it into a soft reboot of the DC universe. But then the studio also didn't.
It just wasn't good.
It was a very compromised work, and also the studio didn't believe it was a good soft reboot for the DC universe. But they also knew that what they were planning to do the soft reboot on, which was the Flash movie that's going to be happening here soon, was also a problem. Basically, that movie was cursed. And then it's like, hey, we're bringing Henry Cavill back because The Rock demanded
Oh my
it.
gosh.
And then nobody wanted to watch the movie. And it's like, well, I guess we're not bringing Henry Cavill back at all. As opposed to just saying, maybe the movie wasn't really good.
I'm definitely not
And
watching the Flash movie.
And all the trades are now starting to talk about how all the different movies are saying that The Rock is extremely difficult to work with.
I'm not surprised. I don't know. I'm pretty much just giving up on superhero movies at this point.
I mean,
They've run their course.
I don't agree with that point.
Yeah.
I think that the current, because that's almost like saying that like an entire like genre can run its course, and I disagree with that. It's like saying, oh, romance has run its
Excuse me?
course.
You predicted that was going to happen years ago.
No, I need to rephrase this, because I do think that superhero films will have they may have peaked in their best heyday, I guess. But people have said, for example, that the Western has died multiple times. We still get 2 to 3 Westerns in America like every year. Like this still happens. The genre, the genre is not dead.
Westerns are effectively dead when it comes to the hype, right? So that might happen to superheroes. There will still be people making superhero movies, just like there's still people making non-superhero action movies. It's just not going to be the hot thing anymore.
I agree / disagree with that. So I agree that I think they have peaked, but the superhero has a quality that the Western does not, which is it is infinitely adaptable, which means and just like romance movies, again, like when people look at Westerns, right? A Western is a very particular type of genre. It's like almost like a subgenre of a much larger one, right? Action, right? But like people don't get tired of romance movies. Like this just doesn't happen. You get like a dozen of them every single year. So the question is at what level is the superhero genre? And the thing that I push back a little against is the fact that just like the desire to to watch a film where men and women fall in love never really goes out of style. The power fantasy that superheroes so well deliver on never really goes out of style either. And I think that the superhero has more staying power.
Well, I think here's the counter argument. I don't actually think Westerns have a problem. I think the real issue is the competency of the people making the things. And you see the same thing that happened at the Day of the Westerns. It wasn't that like people were tired of the story. It's bad stories were oversaturating the market. And I think that's how people are feeling with superheroes. If you actually gave it a break and you didn't have these like really half like written stories out there, I don't think people would care about the difference at all.
I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. I think the people who are making the superhero movies are tired of making them. I think they don't believe in the superhero stories, and it shows in the product, and it's turning off the audience. Which is why Spider-Man Far From Home, was that the title for the third one? Or No Way Home was the title for the third one. Like that's why that was so popular, because that movie, everybody was really into what they were doing. And nobody was into doing Ant-Man and the Wasp. No one was into doing Marvel Comics Presents Wakanda Forever, because it sure felt like forever. So these movies are being made by people who don't want to make them, but they feel like they have to because of the money involved.
It's an oversaturated market.
And that's why I at least have some confidence in what James Gunn is presenting, provided Warner Brothers doesn't have like 12 suits. And have like 12 suits sitting in a room saying, okay, the script looks fine, but we need you to take these 96 notes and incorporate them into your script. And then we might put in another 72 notes next.
Alrighty. So Abigail has actually been working alongside. So she dropped in Discord. I'm going to try to pull this up.
I can pull that up.
But she pulled the So okay, so that's panel 1, 2, and 3 there. Okay, cool.
Nice.
But no, we got to take a look at Abigail's interpretation. I think it's really
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really
Here,
awesome.
I can pull up Discord.
Although I think we might need to cut and paste them into one. I would pull up like let me see if I pull up Microsoft Paint and just slap them together.
No, if you want to do that, then yeah, we can wait.
Yeah, give me a second, so we could get
The
the
power
whole
of it.
experience.
Power of MS Paint is compelling.
I mean, I pay for Adobe. I should probably be using more Adobe, but I for certain things, I find Paint to be just easier.
For the sort of
immediately.
Yeah.
For the sort of art we're putting together here, I think Paint is the perfect medium.
If you're just copy pasting, just collaging things together real quick, you don't care about the borders or anything, Paint's great. Opens immediately. You don't have to. The problem with Adobe is like it takes anywhere between a minute to 5 minutes, depending on how your computer wants to operate, for it to even open up.
Yeah. Alrighty. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna use my mad MS Paint skills. Actually, I use Paint 3D, so you know, I'm a.
See, Edming says new Western novels come out regularly and are sold at Walmart. Somebody's buying them. I think novel market though is also just very different from Hollywood.
Also, isn't that
genres of any novel sold any year?
I mean, isn't Yellowstone though like the most popular Western right now? That Kevin Costner show on the streaming service.
A Western.
But they did the 1800s Western spinoff.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't.
I also
I've
thought
not
that
watched
Westerns
it.
were just coming back into popularity, and I think it's because of there's certain modes that society goes through, and there's certain types of storytelling that fit better in the different societal modes.
All right, boom! I've got it.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Okay. So this was Abigail's interpretation of.
We got a pickle. Oh
no, that's Mrs. H.
Yeah, no, this is Abigail. So what we got?
I really kind of like the look of the Johnny Bravo in the third panel there.
That's legit. Yeah. No, I love the. This is the perfect level of artistry, especially for this insane thing. They're replacing the sign with the powdered milk stand. That's great.
I also kind of like how it's Johnny, but it's not Johnny. Like it's got the sports shades and everything. More of a classic pompadour.
He's wielding the hairdryer really well. And our Von Lactose looks eerily like Master Shake, and he's got a chocolate chip cookie coming out. So,
all right, where's the script?
It's in the private chat.
Yeah, it's in private chat.
I feel like looking at this image, this is exactly what I imagined being thrown together by this experiment in content.
Exactly, this is perfect. Yeah. Thank you, Abigail. Absolutely perfect.
Oh, I see.
Also, Cartoonicus, I really feel like you and Twitless need to repurpose Von Lacto at some point because that's just such a cool looking villain. He cuts such a great thing.
He's something, all right. I do like the mustache. I think the mustache is a nice touch, Abigail. That's cool. Abigail says he is delicious.
I put a dripping, almost thick comb mustache made entirely out of milk on mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it actually has, like, drops coming down.
Edming says he liked that version. See, next time we do this, we'll need to get even more artists on stream, on camera, so we can have multiple people seeing.
It would have been nice if we could have multiple artists doing different panels.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
everybody having to do all of them.
I like the idea of just everybody doing all three and having their interpretation of it. I thought only one person on here was even going to be drawing. That's why I don't have my setup or anything. I'll have to go fish out my gooseneck mount. Maybe actually pre-set up a page with bigger panels.
I was gonna say I would just slap the text in there and just draw a line.
Whoa.
You don't even use balloons. We're going. This is what we call zine level art. Okay.
Hey, maybe this could be something that could be featured in the zine.
Pronounce Zine.
I'm going to kill you. Well, speaking of which, I talked with Matt C, and I'm going to follow up with him. We're still in talks to do the zine, and we had a really good conversation recently. I think mostly he needs to get through some of his Kyrie stuff, but we had some awesome conversations. What we're going to do is something not a little more serious than what we have here, but we're going to basically do a prompt. And I believe we've kind of narrowed down what the prompt is going to be. And so Matt C is going to draw, I guess, the featured zine comic. We'll do the interview with him for this first zine, but we're going to invite other artists, anybody from chat, and so on, to kind of
a single
contribute.
page comic called Kyrie ... probably.
But we are going to do a call for comics with a particular prompt, and the prompt is going to have to do with, I believe it's going to be conflict and resolution. And so basically it's whatever you want to draw that has to do with that, but it's basically has to have a conflict and has to have essentially a type of a resolution, an attempt at resolution for it. And by that, we're talking about like Matt C is big on hashtag Kumbaya, taking people who are fighting, people who are disagreeing, and then having them make up, essentially having them come to an understanding, come to peace, come to terms. And so I think broadly speaking, that's going to be the kind of theme that we're going to ask for. But then it's up to any artist to approach that from however they want. They could do that comedically. They could do that dramatically. They can do that in a slice of life. They can do that in autobiography. So however you want to interpret that, it would be basically a short, very short comic or comic strip that essentially addresses that overall prompt. And then the interview we're going to do, where I ask very invasive questions of Matt C. I've already given him some preview of what those are going to be like. And we actually got some interesting results already from those. It's a side of Matt that you will only get if you get this zine. And I can promise you that. So if you want to get to know Matt, and again, if this goes well, then we'll follow up maybe and do it again with another artist. And I will continue to refine my ability to ask appropriately invasive questions of people. But like I said, the idea is to be able to see a side of these artists and creators in a way that you would not see anywhere else. All right, looking good there, buddy.
All right, let's see. Need a bubble.
Oh, you don't have to bubble it. Just draw a line. You're going too high quality here. Think zine. Just slap a line on top.
Sorry, I don't know what a zine is.
Oh gosh, did I not show you one?
I know what a zine is.
I'm gonna kill you.
You know what? Let me. Bastard sword right here.
Okay. Draw your giant sword. Edming says Matt C is trying to annoy Doug Naples through to get him to finish a book. How is that peacekeeping? See, that's Matt C's attempt at using trolling as peacekeeping. That's the higher level Kumbaya attempt. Yeah, that's the kind of word. That's the kind of word balloon I want to see. That's perfect. That's exactly perfect.
Because you see, by getting Doug to do his art, he'll bring peace because it'll make people happy.
There you go. Perfect. There you go. You don't need to put any more work into it than that. In fact, you already put too much.
We'll continue this next week, folks.
But yeah, we're almost at our 2-hour mark. But and we need to figure out what we're doing for next time. But we'll probably do that in back chats and so on.
Yeah. Oh, I want to show everybody. We haven't it was because we were using the screen the whole time. We have an option. I actually did make an image. Look at this. I cropped together a bunch of different things from the different openings, and I made like a little Mattriarchy background wallpaper thing. I'm the only one not on there though.
Oops.
Why there wasn't one for me to use?
I mean, whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought
Well,
that was fun.
we'll have to give Abigail a coffee
Yeah.
and maybe ask to get one of our usual suspects put on there, because she's done such an excellent job on our branding essentially for the podcast. Edming says, are you going to sell the zine at cons? All right, so the intention for the zine is essentially for us to get it all together, and then you have to send like a letter in the mail to either Matt Krotz or someone else who has the zine, and then Matt Krotz will send you in the mail. We're gonna go low tech original zine delivery system, because that's how in the old days, right? It was just I slapped this together on my photocopier, send me postage and a letter, and I will send this back to you.
You can afford a zine. Right,
exactly. So that's I think the intent. We're gonna try and experience the full zine experience there. Abigail says, erase the beard from Matt C. But yeah, okay. So for next week, stay tuned. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna do, but we're probably gonna have more of a comics-based conversation as we usually do. We thought we would just keep things fresh by doing something very different. We are also going to try, I think, and put together a comics creators club in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. Those are always a lot of fun. Voice acting, shared comics, indie comics from creators that you know and love. So we'll definitely be doing that. I think, yeah, that's most of what I had. Did anyone have
promote anything?
I mean, definitely check out Adventures of Omega Girl. Issues 2 and 3 are now finally available on Indie Planet. Give me a second. I'll pop that link in chat.
Definitely check out the Adventures of Johnny versus Milkman.
Well, check out Abigail's version because she finished.
Yeah.
Well, we should definitely compile all these together in one place.
Well, you could see it.
I agree.
If you were in the Ideal Comics Discord. I don't know why you're not.
Do we not invite?
I mean that sounds like something you can promote on this stream.
Yeah.
Do I have an invite link to that? Let me look.
We might have to ask Rhys about that.
I don't know how he handles the invites.
I think he wanted to be more selective. So we might have to ask him about that. But there's the link for Adventures of Omega Girl. You can check out issues 1, 2, and 3. Classic superhero adventures. And yeah. Obviously, check us out at superschool.com. Check out Forces of Good and Evil. And
keep reading comics.
Yeah. That's Rhys's. I don't know. I feel bad if I steal his line.
Well, no, you're honoring him by saying his line to close out the show.
Because I put the word temp host, and I also have the power to be him in the studio anyway. I'll say read X Dynamis Chaos as well. Go to xdynamischaos.com and.